cleaned up the shop a little bit. As you can see, we got a new customer car. Well, customer slash my buddy, but plan for this. I'm gonna take the VLSD out. We're gonna put an S13 welded diff in, S14 axles, because this looks kind of like an R32 rear end or a Z32. You can tell because the bolt pattern is different, whereas S13 is 3x2. So we'll have to get S14 axles. We're gonna do that. And then we've got a little bit of rust. We're gonna try it. Maybe we can repair it, maybe not. I'm not sure. But we're waiting on parts, so I think today I'm gonna put the wheels down, or put the wheels back on, get it down, roll it back a little bit. And we've got, I don't know where I put it. Put it in here. No. So pretty much all of these parts need to go here. But today I think we're gonna try and tackle the little shifter relocator. I'm gonna attempt to do it with it in the car. So that should be interesting. Get that done, maybe get the OEM fuel lines pulled. We're gonna put I think it's a Walbro, I don't know. Yeah, Walbro fuel pump. Switch the AM lines. And that's probably all we'll have time for today, but yeah, I'm getting there. And then waiting on parts for the Skyline, suspension parts, stuff like that. But yeah, I'll do some videos on this guy as well, depending on how far we go with it. We're thinking maybe big brake front. Definitely villain's kit on this guy as well, but they're probably about 2-3 weeks out on the S14. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, progress update. This is the stock shifter linkage. Drive the pin out with a punch. You're gonna mark. You're gonna put this guy on with a Sharpie. Mark where you need to cut. You need to trim the excess off. Trim that off. Then drive the pin in. This little rubber boot here. There's a little drain hole. I guess if you get water or fluid or anything in here, there's a drain hole that has to face down so that way it can drain out. I'm not sure. I might have to chop a little bit of this out. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, looks much better, I think. We'll see. So we did have to cut a little bit out there. I cut it flush with the support on the inside that goes up over. So we will, oh that's bright, sorry. We will have to probably smash this down, weld some steel across there to close up the front half, and then we'll make the boot work that came off the 350Z, so that way you have a little bit of protection from dust and exhaust, all that good stuff. It's no biggie. But yeah, pretty sweet. On the CD 009, I'm using the lower hole, and then only the big washers up top. It comes with a big washer and a little washer. I think that's for Z32 tranny swaps. But I don't think I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need another person to set up inside of there because this moves up and down and you want it, this guy right here to be flush. I don't know if I can get in there. You want it to be flush on the top there. So that way when you push it down into reverse, this guy doesn't push past the dog leg and get bound up. This guy right here. So if this flush and you push the shifter down to go into reverse, that's gonna get bound up. So you want this up flush, tighten that down so that way when you push it down it doesn't bind. So pretty easy install. I think today, instead of tackling the fuel lines, I might start making this look like an engine. I'll start putting the accessories on, what I can. Other than that, I'll see how far I get and I'll update you guys. The one thing I did notice with the CX Racing pan, there's a considerable gap here in the front. Fingers crossed it doesn't leak. If it does, then I'll have to drop the pan. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But I mean, that to me that's pretty sketchy. It's that huge gap right there. And you can actually move the gasket. All of these are torqued to spec, so I'm 100% sure that they're not loose. These bolts are actually a little bit longer than stock. These are the stock ones. I had to put those in because of this guy here. I couldn't put long ones in there. They were getting stuck in there, so. And then I think what I'm gonna have to do is these are dash 8 and my filter relocator is a dash 10. So I'm gonna run a dash 8 line and then adapt it into the dash 10 oil filter relocator. In case you were wondering, this is the out and this would be the in for your oil. Took me a while to research that. Well, not really, but. And also, I'm gonna build a piece of, I don't know, sheet steel that'll kind of cover this area up. I don't want crap getting up inside of there. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I don't know. The Collins trans adapter kit looks a little wonky, but if you notice, this side's a lot higher. It's like that normally, but I did smash a bunch of this in, so I wonder if that is why it's so crooked. But it's in there. And I did notice that the tranny's a little crooked to the left, but that's because the Collins kit bolts up to the bell housing, the T56 bell housing. In order to get the bolts lined up, it cants the tranny to the left a little bit, so that shouldn't be a problem. I don't know. We'll see. Get the Valence kit installed, but I think I did it backwards. As far as equalizing the rack goes, I maxed it out as far as I can this way and put the tie rod on, but I think if I did it backwards, I think you're supposed to turn it so the inner tie rod bottoms out with the rack and then thread your outer tie rod in until it meets up with the knuckle. So we're gonna have to redo that because the toe is way off, which that's to be expected, but let's see if I can straighten it out a little. You can see And I tried adjusting the toe. And the inner tie rod doesn't want to budge. So I'm gonna try and do it the other way and see what happens. So that's it. Pretty much done for tonight. So I probably should have done a little bit more research, but the LS1 has a hole right here. And that hole is for, I don't know, something like this. So this is an LS1 alternator bracket, and idler pulley obviously is not going to work with the 5.3 block. Got the LS1 crank put in, LS1 water pump, fast intake throttle body, Dorman intake. I think I'm just gonna have to get the bracket kit from ICT Billet. That'll allow me to mount all this stuff. But it's looking good. Kind of wish those bolts were black, but oh well. Yeah, I think that's it for this video. Hopefully we'll get to work on it next weekend, or we'll hop over to the S14, not sure, but cool.